Now, it's such a shame when you hear of someone's passing, but it's even more of a shame when that person has really created a massive impact in the world. Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of the legendary Black Panther is one of the greatest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in this video, what I'm going to be diving into, out of dedication to Chadwick, is what we can learn from the character of King T'Challa, and what we can learn from his ways of thinking to better our lives, our businesses, and in ourselves. Chadwick himself was such an icon, and I hope through this video is to be able to keep the spirit and the legend of the Black Panther to live on forever. This is Aaron, this is the Golden Knowledge, and this is how to think like King T'Challa. King T'Challa, also known as the Black Panther, is one of the more clever-minded characters in the MCU, and he definitely holds a lot more significant power than a lot of other Marvel superheroes. The reason for this is because he uses the 11th law of power. Learn to keep people dependent on you. To maintain your independence, you must always be needed and wanted. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you have. When you make people depend on you for their happiness and prosperity, you have nothing to fear. Never teach them or give them enough so they can do without you. And this is the key strategy that King T'Challa uses that makes him one of the most powerful characters in Marvel.
Baba?
Yes, my son.
Tell me a story.
Which one?
The story of home.
Millions of years ago, a meteorite made of vibranium, the strongest substance in the universe, struck the continent of Africa, affecting the plant life around it. And when the time of men came, 5 tribes settled on it and called it Wakanda.
It is said that millions of years ago, a meteorite from outer space, consisting of a metal known as vibranium, crash-landed into Wakanda, causing the nation to have such abundance of the resource. Now, it's said in the Marvel Universe that just 1 gram of vibranium is worth around $10,000 on the international markets, due to it being one of the most strongest and versatile metals in the world. And Wakanda has around 10,000 tons of the metal alone. 10,000 tons times $10,000 explodes the country's wealth into the region of $90 trillion. That's literally like 20 times the amount of money that exists in the entire world. But what the previous Wakandan kings agreed on was to not advertise this abundance to the world, out of fear of war and colonization from outer countries. Instead, what they did was use the metal to build and develop their own country, turning Wakanda into the most technological advanced nation on Earth. They did, however, sell small amounts of vibranium to further their secret advancements. But the country produced and provided everything they needed through their use of their advanced technology. Now, you may be thinking, this is great. This is what made Wakanda so powerful, as the kings of the nation were totally independent. So this is what we should do for ourselves, right? Strive for independence. Well, not exactly.
Tell me how to best protect Wakanda. I want to be a great king, Baba. Just like you. You're going to struggle.
Outside of Wakanda, the nation itself didn't really have any leverage or power on a political scale. The world leaders just viewed Wakanda as a bunch of poor farmers. But as more and more Wakandan people ventured outside of their nation, it was clear that they could really advance and create a huge impact across the world through the use of their technological advancements.
I am grateful to the Avengers for supporting this initiative. Wakanda is proud to extend his hand in peace. Everybody get down!
After his father dies, T'Challa is torn between two worlds as a king. Between either keeping the nation of Wakanda as a secret, or showcasing to the world the tech Wakanda can offer and help them advance forward. This is what the main premise of Black Panther is all about. What actually makes Eric Killmonger such a good antagonist is that T'Challa actually ends up agreeing with Killmonger's thinking that Wakanda should be using their advancements to help the world. The only difference was the means of doing so.
Maybe we can still heal you.
Why? So you could just lock me up? Nah. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Killmonger believed that Wakanda should help the world out, but in a way of violence and striving for complete independence, which he believed is the highest pinnacle of power. However, there is a very common misconception to believe that the ultimate form of power is independence. Picture a man who lives in the woods who is completely isolated. He has the freedom to come and go as he pleases, but he doesn't really hold any power, as he is completely isolated from everyone else. Accumulating power actually involves more of building relationships between people rather than destroying them. And you can't do that when all you think about is total independence. This is what T'Challa understood. The fact that by maintaining sole independence of Wakanda, limited the amount of power that they could have on a political scale, and how much of an impact he and his country could have on the world. He wanted to bring to the world his technology and advancements. But how could he do that in a way where he still maintains control over it without threat? Well, instead of striving for independence, like what the previous kings of Wakanda did for hundreds of years, what T'Challa sorted out for was interdependence.
My name is King T'Challa, son of King T'Chaka. I am the sovereign ruler of the nation of Wakanda. And for the first time in our history, we will be sharing our knowledge and resources with the outside world.
With all due respect, King T'Challa, what can a nation of farmers have to offer the rest of the world?
The ultimate power in life is to have the power to get people to do as you wish. When you can do this without having to force or hurt people, then your power is untouchable. And the best way to achieve this position is to create a relationship of dependence. If T'Challa could get the world leaders and other nations to rely and depend on him, then this would grant him the political power he desired in order to help change the world. By showcasing to the world the tech advancements that are capable with vibranium, but also showing that Wakanda is the only nation that has such vast supplies of it. This is exactly how T'Challa was able to build that relationship of interdependence. Without Wakanda's vibranium, these tech advancements would not be possible. So like them or hate them, this position that T'Challa puts himself in makes him and his nation very serious power players. Once such relationship is established, you have the upper hand and the leverage to make people do as you wish. By introducing Wakanda's tech advancements to the world, T'Challa could also much easily shut off the supply of vibranium to the world if any of his political demands are not met. This position of interdependence, getting other people to rely on you, rather than being isolated alone in a forest, grants you so much more power than pure independence alone, and strategically puts you into a position of much higher authority. People may not like you, and they may even despise your guts, but if they need you because you possess something that cannot be simply replaced, then they have no other choice but to do business with you and listen to what you have to say. Now, of course, you do need to be careful with this and not go overboard, as if you play against too much people, then there is nothing stopping them from all uniting against you and taking you down. But even still, they still would have to think twice about making such a move against you. So the point that I'm making with King T'Challa, and what you can learn from, is to make others dependent on you. And the best way to obtain a powerful position of interdependence is by possessing something that people want but cannot be easily replaced. Imagine if there was 50 other nations that were abundant with vibranium. Then T'Challa wouldn't have as much power, as if the world leaders didn't agree with his demands, then they could just simply go elsewhere. This concept parallels to the corporate world and in business. If you're asking a customer to purchase your product or service, then what is stopping them from going elsewhere? If you're asking your boss for a raise, then what is stopping them from just firing you and hiring someone new? If you have some sort of creative skill or possess a talent that is very hard to come by, then you will make it very hard for other people to replace you. Now, it is very rare to be in a position like King T'Challa, such as literally being the only person in the world that possesses something. But that doesn't stop you from creating or having something that is very rare to come by. The reason why low-income jobs are low-income jobs is simply because they are easily replaceable, because they're not that hard to do. Whereas the reasons why CEOs get paid loads is because that position is not as replaceable, as it's something that is not easy to do. As an entrepreneur, what your focus should be on is developing a product or service that is not easily replaceable by another company. As a corporate worker, what your focus should be on is working on a specific talent or skill that is not easily replaceable by someone else. This is what's going to grant you true control and power. You don't have to be the only vibranium source in the world like T'Challa, but you must have something that sets you apart from the crowd. You should create a situation in which you can always find another buyer or another job, but your customer or boss cannot just easily find someone else to replace your talent or product. Even just having the appearance of specialized knowledge and skill grants you leeway to get others to think that they cannot do without you. Making yourself indispensable is the exact way to think like King T'Challa, and how to really embody the nature and spirit of the Black Panther. Once again, it's heartbreaking to hear about the news of Chadwick, but I guess the only thing we can do is ensure that we keep his legend living on forever. May the Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman to rest in peace, and may Wakanda last forever. Now, if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and to all our loyal subscribers, we are glad you are here. We do some of the best character breakdowns on the whole of YouTube, and we aim to produce at least one high quality animated video per week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any golden knowledge. This is Aaron, this is the golden knowledge, and this is me signing out.